Hello everyone, my name is Fan Xiao. I am acupuncturist in Ontario, and for the past couple of years of many years of acupuncture practice, I find there is a lot of knowledge gap in Western medicine, and because of those gaps that preventing a lot of the conditions being properly recognized and they are because they are not recognized properly, they cannot be treated for the proper method. But first, I would like to introduce about what is Chinese medicine because I find this way it has a tool to allow the Western medicine to develop further because they have a very distinctive view of like how to proceed with health and illnesses so that it can help um, the future research of Western medicine that make it complete because there's too much knowledge gap and we can cover it with Chinese medicine. But a lot of people don't know what does Chinese medicine do. So for example, like uh, like people know about there is a yin yang graph like this one yin yang graph. That's pretty much people know about it because when they see yin yang, it's Chinese. They don't know what does traditional Chinese medicine do. Basically, traditional Chinese medicine has been there for like past 2,000 years. And Chinese medicine is the only medicine in China for the past 2,000 years before the Western medicine was introduced. And that's why, because this is the only medicine, the Chinese wisdom developed this a theory, very complete theory. 2,000 years ago, it's kind of fascinating because there's a book called Yellow Empire's Internal Medicine. So oops. So it's kind of like this. So there is a book like this. This book has been there for almost 2,000 years. Okay. And this is a book that has all the theories that Chinese need to implement their, this is the theory support for all Chinese practice. Everything we do is based on that book. It's like the Bible of Chinese medicine. And it's written by, we don't know who wrote it. We just gave it a name to the Yellow Empire, who is our very famous emperor in the history. But actually, it's not him. It's like a lot of researchers said agree that it's probably a collection of work of many um, doctors over many years, and then they put it together, gave it a name of a famous celebrity, Yellow Emperor. First of the things I want to talk about, because Chinese medicine is talking about health and illness. So what is health? It's kind of very interesting. What is health? Tell me, what is health? What do you think healthy is? Okay, don't need those. Don't need those two. What is health? A lot of people, when we're talking about health, they're just thinking about I don't have any conditions. No, is that really health? I have this definition from a WHO. If you can take a look at it, it says health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Okay, so infirmity, I did not know what does that mean. That's like a mental or physical weakness. Okay, this definition has been there July 1946, and it has not been updated since 1948. Okay, I do not like this definition because it does not guide a treatment. Okay, it does not guide a treatment. Let's say like if there is a disease, so basically what WHO is saying like no disease, complete mental, physical, social. Okay, and there is no weakness. Okay, I don't really like it because it does not guide how to achieve health. Okay, yes, first, like if you have disease, you treat the disease. But when you have like an incomplete mental or physical or social well-being, like how do you restore that? Like it doesn't tell us. Like for example, like if somebody who has a disease, say gallstone, and what does the people do? Like what does the doctor do? Like they ask you to remove it and remove a stone, like you cut now we got laparoscopically, so it's very tiny couple holes on the belly and remove the gallbladder. Okay, so you so you get rid of the disease or illness, but the thing is, did you restore a complete physical, or you just created an incomplete physical? Another thing is like weakness. Okay, there is no weakness in physical or mental, but this is the part okay, this is the part where the Western medicine is hugely have a huge knowledge gap because they don't know how to restore this weakness. Okay, over my couple 10 years of my acupuncture, especially the late couple years, I'm feeling that Chinese medicine is so strong in restoring the weakness, but the Western medicine doesn't have. Okay, we have something called I'll write it in Chinese, 虚症. So basically, it's like deficiency. What deficiency of deficiency of blood, qi, yin and yang. So it's like qi, 血. I'm sorry, I'm writing this in Chinese, but so basically it's like you might heard of qi, blood, yin and yang, and these things are the fundamental things that when we are deficiency of these properties in our body, we are able to restore it because there is a guideline. So what is health in Chinese medicine? This is kind of interesting. Health is 阴平阳密. So basically it's yin and yang. So it's here, yin and yang. They're balanced, and there is no like deficiency. So it's kind of like distributed properly in the body. So when there is a perfect homeostasis in the body, then we have a healthy person. Okay, make sense? Okay, here is something that you could look at. I come up with a graph here, like this is my graph. Like the word is a little bit like small. So there are three graphs, like three graphs. So basically, there is a little circle in the yin and yang, and there's so many layers of circles. I'll explain to you what does it mean. Just let me clear that out. Okay, here is a little bit enlargement of that graph. So basically, what I understand about a health is that like when we have a balance. So here is like a health, and in the middle is balance, and here is something like deficiency, and here is excessive. So when we're talking about excessive, for example, we have like a tumor that could be excessive, or we have a blood clot that's excessive, right? Or we have infection that is like an infection caused by inflammation, so that's germs comes out. So we don't need that. This is excessive. Deficiency is like we are lack of something. For example, very commonly like a B12 iron. So kind of write it down: iron deficiency, B12, vitamin D, something like potassium. It's possible like a potassium or calcium, something like that. Excessive is like a infection, tumor, uh, like a growth, or you have a splint, like from the wood splint. That is also excessive. It's not part of our body, but inside us. That could be like some kind of agent that cause illness. Um, so there is like when we have deficiency and excessive, we need to bring it back to balance. That will make us like healthy. And also the body itself naturally has ability to bring it back. So you like for example, here is an imaginary line. This is the region that body can actually restore it. So if your health starts from here, and then like over the time, it's gonna be like this. It's gonna be a little bit deficiency, but it will bring it back. Excessive, it will bring it back. It will bring it back. Usually it's like this. But however, something happens, say car accidents, and then like you have like hematoma, got into like a bleeding and there's a lot of bleeding. So you kind of like losing a lot of blood. Okay, you're losing a lot of blood. But after treatment, so say like you go to the ER, they replace your blood, and then you come back. All right, or like later, and then like you have an open wound, you got like an infection, and then you got antibiotic, you treat it back. So you like this is something that we can do. For example, like if it's within this, this is like an imaginary like area that this is the region, this is the part that is close to our homeostasis, and our body is able to bring it back to the balance. But if it's getting out of there, we might need some change. For example, diet change, do more physical exercises, that may help to bring it back. But if it's going beyond this region, you need to have you need to have a little bit more like a stronger force to bring it back to balance. For example, like uh, some medications, or like a surgery, or like a I don't know, like something that will help you. Uh, because like once it belongs to a certain point, you can't go back. Yourself can only do this much, but you need that much to go back. So that's where like interventions from medicine is required. A lot of people when they're young, like when they're in their 20s, 50, teens, 20s, 30s, they are strong, like so their body is able to bring a lot back. And once they bring that back to here, their body start work it out, and then like bring it back to balance. But when you're getting older and older, your ability is like say that's aging. See, that's aging. And then like when you're going older and older, you won't be able to bring it back as far. So it could be like when the illness is here, and then this is how much you can go, but it cannot reach to the balance. So you're staying unhealthy if you don't have proper interventions. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, here's something I have for you about Chinese medicine. Okay, this is just basic idea of balancing. Okay, all right. So this is deficiency. So qi deficiency, and here is qi excessive. So we're going to start from here. Okay, that's our health, and this is the area that like when there's surrounded by this green circle. This is where our body is able to bring back to homeostasis. Maybe I need a different color. Okay, so this is our health start. If we go a little bit beyond to deficiency, it will be able to come back. Okay, if we have a little bit like excessive, we can bring it back. Yeah, and if we go like say like something happens like our lifestyle is kind of like a same thing every day, and like you're not eating properly, there's one element you're missing. For example, like a lot of girls who are losing blood every month because of period, but they don't eat red meat. They don't eat red meat and they're losing blood. Like, where's the iron come from? Where's the B12 come from? So they are not really helping. So eventually it's going to leave this safe zone, like the homeostasis zone, and then it's going to be like this. And they need to change their diet, because if they can change the diet, it's going this way. If they don't, it's continue going out, and eventually start to have some symptoms. Okay, they may start to have symptoms, and then like being tired, unable to focus on work, and then they're pale, they don't look good, and they may not sleep well. And eventually it's going to get worse and worse and worse, and they are not able to function properly in the daily life. And if the blood is continue like a deficiency, it's going to get like different things in future. Okay, it may not lead to death immediately because they're like it's a small amount of blood, but because it's not helping the whole health. Okay. And here in Chinese medicine, we have something called yin yang. Like so, yin yang is. So what is yin yang? Like yin yang. So yang, like look at this part. Okay, yang. So this is the sun. It's like in the very old days, like Chinese character from the symbols. So this is the sun. So we draw it like this and square it up, and here's the sun. Now you learn Chinese. Here is the moon. It comes from this. This was the old symbol, and then it become like a moon. So what does yang represent? Yang is fire, going up, going outward, giving energy, and yin is more like receiving energy, that is going inward, going down, and it's cold. Okay, so it's cold here, and this is hot. Okay, so this is where the like another scale of like so if we have that color, if we start from the center when you're very healthy, and then you're always expose yourself to the cold, your body will adapt, right? Like it will adapt. And then like eventually, like if you expose yourself in the cold and you don't care, like you're standing like in your pajamas outside, which is minus 30 degrees in, I don't know, like North Bay or something like that, like you will be like feeling cold because it's going the weather will change your body's health so much that eventually reach a very dangerous place. Like it could lead to death. All right. But if you're not that stupid, and then, but the thing is like you just stay here and then like you are kind of always staying cold, um, like staying in the cold environment, like and then you don't take care of yourself. You don't warm up. You just jump into the car and then go to work, and jump in the car and go to home, and then you kind of like -10 outside, and you only have skirt on. It's going to change your body property. It's going to change it to the cold. Okay, you're going to change it to cold, and then eventually you will like you won't be able to go back. You won't be able to warm it up. And then it's going to colder and colder and colder, causing say like you start have cold like cold hands, cold feet. That's only the beginning, and then eventually you will feel like pain and ache. You are not able to function properly. You start to like being tired, and then eventually some other things is going to happen. Say like the blood is not circulating to the like limbs, extremities, but it's also going to end up with like the body is not able to, like blood is not able to circulate into the core, and then you get sick, sicker and sicker. So Chinese medicine or a lot of other like holistic methods, like they will try to make it back to the, like if you go some interventions, they will bring it back. Okay. Sometimes you may have deficiency, and then like you also have like qi deficiency, and you have cold. That's very common. Like you're tired easy and you're feeling cold all the time, so it's going this way, right? If you're looking at like a mid-aged ladies, or there are some mid-aged men who are having like hot flashes because they have qi deficiency, and then a lot of them do have the qi deficiency, and because they don't have enough like yin in their body, there's no yin in the body, so they too much yang, so they are feeling hot, going this way. But it's not going to last long. It will, like naturally, when the hormone balance out, it will come back. But this is something that will tell you that like Chinese medicine can help menopausal symptoms, because we can use interventions to bring it back to where it's feeling a lot better. Okay, it can treat it. But when you go to Western medicine, there is no way, because they don't have this theory to support their treatment. Yes, remember that like a definition, a stupid definition, like a complete like a merely of no disease, and there's menopausal, but is it like it's a condition? Is it a disease? Is it treatable? You need to ask yourself a question, or you can go to ask your doctor. Right? Is it treatable? Is it? And then is there like physical complete? Yes, you are. Like this is natural. It's natural like physiology of women's like aging, normal aging. It's complete, but it's not treated. It cannot be treated with medicine because there's no theory supports it. Chinese medicine do. So if you have menopausal, I think it will be a good thing like to consider about Chinese medicine, because we do have a theory that possibly can help you to like get rid of those discomfort. Okay. Okay, there is another graph I have here. The first graph is about like a qi deficiency and like qi stagnation. It's like the qi stops. It's like the qi. Qi is too much excessive qi, and it could be excess of fire or excess of water. If it's qi deficiency, it's like there's not enough fire in the body, there is not enough water in the body. We're talking about water or fire, I'm saying that because it's much easier for you to understand. Yin and yang, come on. You're not Chinese. You cannot differentiate them, okay? Another thing is like in Chinese medicine, remember that qi, blood, yin, yang, yeah, yin yang. We're talking about yin and yang. So yin is like cold, and yang is hot. Here is another graph. Is about like blood. Blood can be weak, like it can be deficiency, say B12 deficiency, iron deficiency, like a low red blood cells, or you could have like clots that cause like blood is not flowing properly. Sometimes it's not clot; it's the vessels, like the arteries, the veins, the capillaries. They're too narrow to allow blood to flow through. It also can happen. So like we have Chinese medicine, we have like acupuncture or moxibustion that can help these problems. But if you have like blood deficiency, the best thing to do is change your diet. There is something you can do to change the diet. But others like too much heat in the blood, too much cold in the blood, you can, and then there's like clots or blood stagnation. We can use acupuncture to deal with, or moxibustion for this one. And in Chinese medicine, there is deficiency, and also excessive. This one is like too much cold, too much heat, but also it could be like related to dryness or dampness. Okay, if there is too much damp like it's kind of like, you know, the water become gluey, sticky, and if the blood if the fluid in the body becomes sticky, they may not allow things to function properly, make it slow. For example, like some of the symptoms people may experience is they feel like tired because some of the stamps or sputums build up as fat, or some build up in the plaques build up in the arteries that become like a coronary artery disease or stroke potentially, and dryness, like a lot of people feel dry because there is not enough fluid intake, or it could be you are not able to tolerate, you are not able to process the fluid, like when you're drinking water. This dry, we're not just talking about lack of water. It could be that your body's health is not at optimal. When you're drinking water, you just pee them out. You have diarrhea and get rid of them, but you don't keep the water in the cells. It could also cause dryness. Okay. So when we have any of these things, like say like you have the conditions become like heat damp, which is difficult to clear, but we can, and we bring them back. Like we'll clear this like damp heat, and then you'll be back to the homeostasis and you'll be fine. This is some kind of basic ideas of how Chinese medicine treats like a lot of problems. Like it's kind of like very simple idea, but I think it's very good for people to understand what Chinese medicine can do, because if you understand what Chinese medicine can do, you may not suffer from the condition and like where a lot of doctors, your family doctors, couldn't treat because they're like the theory of Western medicine is not complete. There is a lot of knowledge gap they have. That like for now, like you can try to find an alternative way to help you get healthier and better and feel better. Like before I close up with this thing, like a lot of people probably heard about like 5 elements. Okay, 5 elements. So what is 5 elements? It's true. Oops. Oh crap. So we have water, and water will make trees grow, and from the trees we can light up fire, and fire will burn things into so into ashes, or so we create soil. And soil you can find, like in the ground, in the soil you can find metal. And if you put metal in the night time, and then like you put metals in the night time, and then in the morning you may find some blood, not blood, water accumulated. Or you can burn the metal and melt it, and you get like liquid. So this is 5 elements. And also like 5 elements are controlling each other. Say for example, water can suppress fire. Fire can suppress metal. Metal will cut trees, and trees will be, their root can loose up soil, and soil can prevent water running from everywhere. So this is a simple diagram of like 5 elements. But the Chinese medicine, because our culture, we have like because our culture, we put it this way. So in the north we have water, south we have fire, west we have metal, and in the east we have the tree, and the center we have wood. Soil, the ground. This is another way of drawing it, but this is more like you probably see these ones more. That is more Chinese culture. Just that base of it, but it's not important now. I hope you like it, and then in the future I will be talking about like what is the gap of Chinese medicine, Western medicine, and how Chinese medicine can actually help to cover that gap. It's kind of interesting to talk about it, and this is my first video. I hope you like it, and thank you.